And if my advice is, I'm not going to give the old fashioned get your hands dirty, but my advice is just listen to people. Whether or not the stories are things you want to hear, listen, because perspective is really important and we are lacking perspective. And you need to market by having perspective, but also seeing other sides. Because how many times have you looked at your life and said, oh my God, this company, this website is atrocious. It's the worst company, $30 million company. And how many times have you looked at a company with the most flashy website? $1 million company.
Yeah.
We are built in this world to put a facade on of all this stuff, right? Like I run a sales department. I pretend to be a marketing host. Like we all put on this facade but for me, the experience is really important. So I think it was a great segment. What advice would you go back and give your past self? So what advice would you give to yourself when you were 12 years old, 13 years old about the future? What advice would you give? We got about a minute and a half. I know you didn't expect this one coming.
You know, I don't know. It's the only thing that comes to mind is my dad had this saying where he was always like, look, son, you may not always be the fastest, the smartest, whatever, but you better not let anybody outwork you. Like that was his thing, is you're not always going to be the best at everything you do. Sometimes you may be average, below average, but just make sure you outwork the other person. And so that advice, I didn't listen to at age 12. It became real to me.
It sounds like you got more of it than you thought you did.
I did.
But you didn't listen directly.
But if I could go back, I would be like, listen to what your mom is telling you about this part. Listen to what your dad is telling you about this part. And maybe that's because right now I'm trying to convince. I've got a 19-year-old who probably listens to me much more now than she ever did before. And my 11 and 13-year-old, they think I'm an idiot half the time.